Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, presenting to you the weekly pop culture wrap-up, which is the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. Batman Last Night on Earth has its actual solicitation, finally, I should say. So this is basically going to be writer Scott Snyder and artist Greg Capullo's last statement on The Dark Knight. If you've been following their run ever since the New 52 and onward, this is kind of like the final piece of that puzzle. I'm super pumped for this. Snyder, Capullo, you can tell they've had a lot of fun with Batman. This story is kind of like old man Batman in a way. It seems like he's going to wake up in a desert. He's going to have the Joker's head in a jar, and the Joker's head's still alive. And it's going to be this mystery that he's going to have to figure out who and what he was and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's going to be 3 issues from DC Black Label. It's not going to be as big as Batman Damned. Originally, it was supposed to be in that magazine-type format, but it's going to be normal comic book size. 3 issues, but they're going to be big, thick, prestige format. I think 48 pages each. I'm super pumped for this. It starts in May, and Snyder heads and Capullo heads, you definitely got to be excited for this one. Their final statement on their Dark Knight saga. Absolutely exciting news. So we also have a Leviathan Rising one-shot coming from Brian Michael Bendis and others. A Superman-focused one-shot that's going to be $10. It's going to release in May, but it's going to launch this new story, Leviathan Rising. Obviously, I think having to do with that, criminal organization that Talia al Ghul has been running. So I'm really excited to see what's going on there. It seems like Bendis, the little bit of threads that he's been throwing and seeding throughout his Superman books has been kind of organically leading into this, especially in his Action Comics work. So I'm kind of excited for this, but what the big announcements about this book is that it has been confirmed that Greg Rucka and Mike Perkins are doing a Lois Lane book that starts the following month in June, and Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber are doing a Jimmy Olsen book. Back in the day, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen both had books, both had very successful ongoing books for quite some time. In fact, that Jimmy Olsen book is what eventually Jack Kirby took over and brought in Darkseid and some of the other new gods, right? So I really hope that Fraction, as far as his Jimmy Olsen run, kind of leans heavy into the Kirby influence, and Greg Rucka doing Lois Lane, that seems perfect. Excited for the future of Superman right now. Bendis bringing in Greg Rucka for Lois Lane and Matt Fraction for Jimmy Olsen. That's kind of exciting. I think that's damned exciting, actually. Also from DC, we finally got full details on that Deceased book that we were talking about last week, written by Tom Taylor with artwork by Trevor Hairsine, Stefano Gaudino, and James Herring, right? So a few different artists. This basically is going to be a little bit like Marvel Zombies, but in the DC universe, but not quite so silly. I don't think so. But a techno-organic virus is going to kind of come onto the DC universe Earth, and all these people are going to be all of a sudden crazy, violent, rage-filled lunatics like 28 Days Later or something like that. So it could be cool. I think it could be really, really cool. The really cool thing to pay attention to is that Tom Taylor's writing this. And Tom Taylor has taken books like Injustice and All New Wolverine, books that most people probably wouldn't really care about or give 2 thoughts about, and turn them into must-reads. He's a preeminent writer coming up in the industry right now, and this is definitely something that seems fun, explosive, and big. I think it's pretty cool. And Greg Capullo doing that cover, right? Pretty dope, absolutely. Also, we got a fun announcement about Usagi Yojimbo. Unfortunately, it is leaving Dark Horse, but Stan Sakai, the creator of Usagi Yojimbo, is taking his property to IDW starting in June, and there's going to be a brand new 3-issue miniseries in full color published by IDW with Stan Sakai's artwork. Fantastic stuff. Excited for this. They're also going to take all 35 years of Usagi Yojimbo's publication history and finally come out with complete collections in full color. And to me, that is super, super exciting. Now, there is something to be said about Sakai's artwork, especially just without the benefit and use of colors. The black and white stuff just is amazing. If you like great graphic sequential storytelling, things like Hellboy or any kind of Frank Miller, if you really like the Will Eisners and all that kind of stuff, Stan Sakai is absolutely one of the best. Usagi Yojimbo is one of the best and most underappreciated comic books out there of the last 30 years, in my opinion. I'm super excited to see some colors, to see a complete collection from the very beginning all the way through from the Fantagraphics to the Dark Horse to the new IDW. Very excited for this news and the future of Usagi Yojimbo. From Boom Studios, we get a new one from Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora. It's called Once and Future. It's kind of like, they said it's going to be like what Kingsman did for James Bond. This is going to do for the Indiana Jones trope and archetype, right? So it's going to be kind of like, you know, action archaeologist, but a little bit infused, it seems, from the title with an Arthurian type of legend, you know, King Arthur and all that type stuff. Dan Mora, fantastic artist. Gillen, fantastic writer. Really excited for this. And what's really even more exciting is that Boom really announced some great initiatives to retailers. For instance, 2 top creators on the book. That's amazing. Every single issue will be fully returnable, so that means that shops have no pressure on, oh, I don't want to order too much and be stuck with hundreds of comics that I can't sell. They can order as many as they want and they can return them, and there's only going to be one cover. No variants, no crazy incentive program, nothing like that. Just order as many as you want, return what you don't sell. We're pushing this product, and I think that's just a fantastic idea. Really, really cool. Really, really pumped for that one. So that's comic book news. Let's move on to some movie news. Quiet Place 2. The cast is returning. So Emily Blunt's returning, the 2 kids are returning, and Krasinski is returning, at least to write and direct. So very excited for that. A Quiet Place is a pretty decent film. It didn't hit me as much as it hit other people, but to be honest, I watched it maybe a little too late, and I did fall asleep. So maybe I should rewatch it, absolutely. But that's pretty cool. Zombieland Double Tap, speaking of horror movie sequels, Zombieland Double Tap has added Luke Wilson to the cast. Very exciting. I'm a big fan of the Wilson brothers, especially Luke. I think it's going to be great. He's also in that Stargirl show. He's playing Stripes. How cool is that? I'm so pumped for that. Chris Hemsworth's going to play Hulk Hogan in a biopic. That's interesting. It's actually a really good casting choice. My only thing is, a Hulk Hogan movie? A Hulk Hogan biopic? Right now? Really? Really? Is that a good idea? Bill and Ted Face the Music, the 3rd highly anticipated movie in the Bill and Ted franchise, is going to be filming this summer. It's official. It's happening. It's filming this summer. I'm so pumped for that. And The Haunting of Hill House, an amazing Netflix show based on the Shirley Jackson book. If you've never seen that show, I highly encourage you to. It was probably one of my favorite TV shows of 2018. And when I was doing all my end of the year stuff, I hadn't seen it yet, and I really wish I had. Anyway, they are doing a season 2. How are they doing a season 2? They've already loosely adapted the novel. What are they going to do for season 2? Well, season 2 is actually called The Haunting of Bly Manor, and that is a reference to The Turn of the Screw, which is a novella by Henry James, which is considered to be a classic in the haunted ghost story genre, if you will. But never read that book. Very excited to check it out and check out that show because Haunting of Hill House was great, and so I'm looking forward to The Haunting of Bly Manor. So that's what we got for you this week. Let me know any comments you have or any thoughts about what I talked about tonight or anything that I missed or didn't talk about in the comments down below. We love talking to you about pop culture. Get the conversation going. In fact, you can keep that conversation going at our official Facebook group, PCP Army. So get on Facebook, check out PCP Army, join us, check it out. Really fun stuff. We can keep that conversation about comics, movies, pop culture, and more going. And you can also continue that tonight here on the YouTube channel with a live stream. That's right, Robbie Rants live tonight, 7 o'clock U.S. Central Time. Very excited for that. We have a lot of fun on these live streams, so bring some fun topics to discuss, bring some nice questions. We're going to do a little bit of show and tell. We're going to talk about this upcoming week's comics, all that and more. Also upcoming this week here at PCP on Monday, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll see the release of our Audience Choice Movie Review Award winner. I need to stop saying award. Anyway, our Audience Choice Movie Review, the winner was Masters of the Universe from 1987, the classic that it is. That movie review with me, Jelani, and Brooks is going to be out tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. Late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning is going to be the weekly comic book review. At some point midweek, you're going to get my review on Umbrella Academy Season 1. Spoilers. I thought it was awesome, thought it was really, really cool. And Thursday morning sees the release of yet another episode of Comics Revisited. Me and Brooks revisiting Jim Starlin, George Perez, Ron Lim, Infinity Gauntlet. That's right, we're finally going to do it. So we're doing it, and that's what we're doing. So lots of excitement here at Pop Culture Philosophers. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. Keep on reading, keep on thinking, keep on loving, keep on being.